right. All right, so this will be part 2. We just got through stage 5, which is adolescence, identity versus identity confusion. Okay, so here's a great way that we find our identity. Learning that I'm very family oriented while decorating our Christmas tree with my sisters. You know, we find our identity in different ways. You may find your identity in being, you know, valedictorian, or being very sports oriented, or, you know, being good at something in particular. Where it becomes negative is if people begin to find their identity in things like drugs or alcohol or the crowd that does those things. Those can cause issues later and can definitely cause mental health issues and then physical health issues as time goes on. All right, let me go to the next one. Okay, so these are the last 3 stages, and we'll look at them more in detail as we go through. But stage 6, this is age 19 to 35, and this is the stage that a lot of you guys are going to be entering into soon, which is intimacy versus isolation. So this is where an individual is seeking to develop a love relationship. So, you know, there's a lot of, I've heard parents say before, well, my child's going to college to get a degree, not to find a wife or to find a husband. But in reality, we really are in that stage of intimacy versus isolation, of, you know, finding that person that we want to spend the rest of our life with. And even if we don't find, even if we decide that we're going to stay single, still finding intimate relationships and those friendships of people that, and intimacy doesn't just mean sexual intimacy here, it means intimacy in the whole realm of how, you know, of someone who truly knows us and accepts us for us. So that's stage 6. And then stage 7, this is the stage that Miss Price is in, and probably some of your parents, are generativity versus stagnation, of, you know, what am I going to contribute to the world? So, you know, what's my legacy going to be? Having kids, community service, for men, but also for women. But when Erikson wrote this theory, he would have seen men as the ones that, you know, need to have a career, that need to, you know, really feel like they're thriving and growing in their career, whereas women would need to see that they're growing in their families and, you know, and being successful in that arena. But now, you know, those gender roles are sometimes even reversed, but there are a lot of women that still have a need to feel, you know, that they're successful. Not all women feel that way. Some women will feel very successful just being a mother and taking care of their home, while other women, they will really need to have a job outside the home, not just for money, but, you know, for their own, just so that they feel like they're contributing to the world. Age 50 plus, this is integrity versus despair. And so we'll look at this a little more closely toward the end, but this is where the individual, they're looking back on their life and they want to make sure that their life mattered. So if you've ever spent time with your grandparents or even great-grandparents, or those of you that work in one of the nursing homes or assisted livings, and, you know, how older people will tell the same stories over and over. Sometimes they've forgotten they told you that story, but other times it's because they just want to make sure that their life had meaning. Even if the meaning of the story just makes you laugh, that still gives them integrity. So they're not gonna, nobody's gonna say with any of these, I am telling you this because I am making sure my life has meaning so that I don't fall into despair. No one says that. Or when they're seeking a relationship, they don't say, you know, I'm seeking intimate relationships so that I can successfully complete this stage of intimacy versus isolation. Erikson just put words to what he saw people going through in their lives. And so you can see this. If you start to look, you can see it. All right, so I think that's the end of that slideshow. Okay, yeah. All right, so you can look back at that chart that I put in there. It's on slide 12. All right, and this slide picks up back with where your notes are. And these were the ones that we just went through in that, but also we're going to look at these 7 life stages for the different areas of development, not just psychosocial or psychoanalytical development, but all the forms of development. So infancy, that's going to be birth to 1 year. Early childhood, that's 1 to 6 years of age. Late childhood, 6 to 12. Adolescence, 12 to 20. Early adulthood, 20 to 40. Middle adulthood, 40 to 65. And late adulthood, 65 and up. All right, so we are going to look at 4 different types of growth and development. There is physical, which is body growth, and this is super important for healthcare for us to understand what area of physical development the body's in. Mental development, this is the development of the mind. Is the child or is the person, can they even mentally comprehend what we're trying to tell them? Emotional, their emotional development, this is their feelings. You may have a 10-year-old that's way more emotionally developed than a 40-year-old. It just depends on where they are on the spectrum of development. Social development, this is our interactions, our relationships. So I apologize if you can hear my children screaming in the background. They're playing some sort of game. All right, so here's a great picture. I have a picture in my mind similar to this, only I wasn't wearing that dress is a little before my time, only I was as tall as the boy, and the boy was about the height of the girl, so when I was in the 7th grade. Anyway, it's okay. All right, so infancy. Got some great pictures of babies right there. Aren't they so cute? All right, so infancy as far as physical development. These babies rapidly change. They are rapidly physically developing. So you can see a baby, and I mean, it almost is like 2 days later, they'll look totally different. Parents take a gazillion pictures of infants, but I mean, they change so fast. They will triple their weight they should triple their weight by 1 year. So a baby that was 7 pounds at birth should weigh 21 pounds after a year. They have muscular and nervous systems are immature. Those are still developing. Their muscle coordination is still developing. So, infants, they don't come out of the womb really being able to do very much of anything. They can suck, they can cry, they have different reflexes. They have a grasp reflex where they'll grab your finger. They have lots of reflexes, but they certainly can't crawl or move or all of those type things. Their teeth do begin to erupt. They start to have teeth during the first years of life. So there's our cute little infant right there. So mental development, this is also changing very rapidly. Their first response is to discomforts. Now, if you watched the video, that I actually am not going to post that video till Monday, so if you're doing this before Monday, April 6th, their main way of speaking is that they cry. They respond. That's the way they respond. But they also can respond to voices that they know. When they're born, they know their mother's voice. They also know their father's voice or the other very close caregiver because if that person has spent time speaking to them, talking to them, while they're in the womb, then they know that voice as well, and they will respond to it. Their main responses are to pain, cold, or hunger. So remember, when they're in the womb, that baby has never felt anything. All the conditions are perfect. They've never been hungry. If they've been, their body takes it from the mother. The temperature is perfect. They haven't felt any pain. So now you can imagine how traumatic that is. That's why we can't remember it. We blocked it out. They gradually become more aware of their surroundings. They start to recognize individuals. And as infants respond to stimuli, learning activities grow. So it's very important to play with and read to infants. And their speech is beginning to develop. So long before they are actually able to form words, their speech is already developing in their brain. That's why it's so important to read, to talk to, all those sort of things. When you're going through the grocery store with a baby, even though you may not think that they understand, it's important to say, oh, there's the cereal. Cereal is good. We eat cereal with milk, or whatever. Point those things out to children. They do, even though they're not able to say that they understand you, they definitely understand. I know my oldest son Joel, he was out sang songs all the time when my kids were little, like preschool songs, and one of them was clap, clap, clap your hands together. Y'all remember little songs like that probably. And so I sang that all the time, and one morning when I was fixing his cereal, so he was in the high chair, so he had to be at least 6 months old, and he was eating solid foods, he just started clapping, and I realized he understood what I was saying. So their speech develops way before they're able to actually talk. All right, so developmental milestones. At 4 months, they should all be smiling and laughing. So if they're not smiling and laughing, that could be a concern. They should roll over and reach for objects. 6 months, they should be babbling. They should be some type of ba 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 ba, la la la, da 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 da, ma ma ma. Some type of babbling should be happening at 6 months. They should be able to sit unsupported. Now that doesn't mean that they will be able to pull themselves up and get in a sitting position, but if you put them in a sitting position, they should be able to sit unsupported at 6 months. They probably are shy or withdrawn from strangers. They have some stranger anxiety or separation anxiety at this point. By 9 months, they should be saying mama, dada, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they will equate their mother with mama or their father with dada. They begin to equate that with the way that we act. So when a baby says mama, mama, and I go, mama, then that is when the child realizes that's how they start to put that together by how we respond, that we got excited, they did something good. They do have stranger anxiety at this period of time. So if the child goes to daycare or something, if there's someone new at the daycare, they may, not want to go. Also in healthcare. Now at 4 months, at 4 or 5 months, you can take that baby away from their parent, and it's okay. They're not going to cry if they have to have some kind of test or something like that. But by 6, 7, 8, 9 months, they are for sure not going to want to go with you. They are probably pulling to a standing position and crawling. They may be crawling. Crawling is not a developmental milestone in that they have to crawl, because some children don't ever crawl. See how much time I have left. I have about 1 minute left. Let's try to get through infant. All right, so 12 months, they should have one word talking. They will say like ball or dog. And not everybody can understand them, but they are starting to put meaning to words. They may begin walking. By 15 months, they should be able to say 2 to 5 words, maybe mama, maybe dada, maybe ball, dog. If they have a brother, maybe their name. They can build a 2-block tower, meaning they can put 1 block on top of the other. By 18 months, they can say 2 to 5 word phrases, so like dog bark, or ball here, or something like that, or dada ball, or cup, or milk, or something like that. And they should be walking by 18 months, and they will crawl upstairs. And then by 18 months, they are beginning to play with others. All right, so we will, on the next video, on I think it's part 3, we'll pick up with early childhood.